My ex-boyfriend and his ex-girlfriend lore. Posting this because not only is it interesting and shocking, but I need some perspective on this. Some real serious advice and perspective. This happened back in 2021/2022. Yeah, it's been a while, and still every time I think about it I'm just gobsmacked. Honestly, don't know if I will ever get over it. Lock in, it's a pretty big story. Back in August of 2021, I received a Snapchat notification friend request from this guy. At that time in my life I had never had a boyfriend or anyone really like me. I was shy and kept to myself and didn't usually add people back. But something in my mind was like, add this guy back. His name is the worst fucking name I have ever seen. So I did. Then he started to snap me, and when I saw his face everything changed. I was like, damn, he is hot as hell and he wants to talk to me? Okay, let's do it. So we kept talking and flirting and just having fun with it. He followed me on Instagram, and when I checked his account he had a bunch of posts up with this one girl and this friendship group with that one girl in it. Now I know this was naive of me, but I literally assumed that the girl in the pictures was his best friend, not his ex-girlfriend, who I later found out broke up with her that day when he added me on Snapchat. So anyway, I was chill about it, and kept talking to him. We ended up going on a few dates and I realized that I actually liked him. A couple of days later, his ex-girlfriend, who I still didn't realize was an ex, went crazy mode on me. Her and her friends, the one this guy was friends with too by the way, all added me on Instagram and cussed me out. Making fun of my posts, laughing at me at school, and just made me feel like shit. When I told him about it, he said, oh yeah, that's my ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry about her, I don't talk with her anymore and she's crazy anyway. So when I looked at his face again and realized how attracted I was to him, I thought, okay fine. That's all good. So we continue dating. He cooks me dinner, takes my first kiss, is passionate and funny and mysterious, and it was everything I wanted. Until one day I was busy at work and couldn't respond to his messages. Mind you, we weren't BF and GF yet. He went crazy and wouldn't stop messaging me and calling me, just being weird and obsessive like he owned me. I felt weird about it, and after having a chat with my friend, I thought I didn't want to see him anymore. So I told him that, over text, and he literally cried and said he was going to off himself. I didn't know what to do, so I just stopped replying. The further I distanced away, the more he came for me, saying all these validating things and making it seem like a fucking romance novel. Every time I half swiped on his texts I felt myself blush and think it was crazy, but in a hot way. I know, what was I thinking? Trauma, I suppose. After a few days, I texted him back, and long story short, we were back to dating. We said we were exclusive, but hadn't put a label on it yet. This is when things get a bit fucked up. It has probably been 3 months now since we started dating exclusively. In this time, he's possessive and weird about everything. His family is weird towards me. When I bring it up, he shrugs it off. I had never had sex before, let alone done anything, and every time we hung out he would do anything he could to get in my pants. I told him, I don't want to have sex until we are properly together. We went to a party together. He drank alcohol when he shouldn't because he's on that many antidepressants and antipsychotic pills, which all he told me was because he had depression. I didn't know anything else that was happening, so we got pretty drunk and I was pretty drunk. We got back to we both sobered up and I was in a little dress. He pulled me by the dress in the dark and started to finger me suddenly. I just kind of went with it, but felt really weird as he was doing it aggressively before I felt something really bad go in there and it caused me to scream. He put his hand over my mouth and continued to try and put that hurtful thing in me. I didn't know what it was, I was crying and scared, and then he got off me. I said, what was that? And he goes, what did you think it was? And then I realized he had taken my virginity without asking, without me realizing what it was, without being in a relationship, after I said no about 3 days earlier, and it made me bleed. A lot. All of this went through my head and I started to cry in his house. I couldn't leave as I didn't have my license then. He got mad at me for crying and told me to sleep on the couch. He eventually came over and cuddled me and I cried in his arms, confused. He told me his side of the story, saying he thought I wanted to etc. The next morning I went home and told him I needed some space. He said I know what I did wasn't okay. I know I did it without your consent, but I'm so sorry. And then for the next few days it was just huge apologies and all the things I wanted to hear. I fell for it, again. So I take him back. We keep dating. He does small things that makes me feel bad about myself, such as saying I'm stupid for not getting certain things. Making fun of my home. I'm middle class BTW, he's more upper class, making fun of my music taste, saying it's basic and constantly calling me basic and saying I should be thankful for dating a cool guy like him. When I finally got my license, he was mad at me because he lost his test earlier to mine. Anyway, he just did stupid, manipulative, mean little things all throughout our relationship. I was laying on his chest one day watching him on his phone when I saw a notification pop up from his ex-girlfriend. I said show me the messages and he wouldn't. I said we are exclusively together, you put that label on it that we weren't seeing other people. You're cheating, etc., so he promised to block his ex and move on. Then, for the rest of the relationship I was paranoid about her and caught him so many times talking to her again. I don't know why I stayed, I was stupid. He would call me crazy and insane and say I'm ruining this relationship, not him, and that I should apologize. I apologized to him, telling him I was jealous and it's my fault. He said thank you for your apology, I forgive you. I also told him how my mom is cheating on my dad, so I'm just upset about that sort of stuff. He said I would never do that to you. Our dating phase was on and off for months. By this time it was January 2022. I would fight with him constantly, he would call me a bitch and an insufferable woman, then tell me he loves me and wants to marry me and have babies with me. I would always go back, something about the cycle was addictive. Then, we had sex properly for the first time because he finally asked me to be his girlfriend. He would fuck me 5 times a day every day, anywhere he could. I can't remember it much, I just know that during it I was zoned out and I don't know why. Sometimes I would be crying over something he did and he would just pull my body and just put it in me without saying a word. He left bruises on me everywhere and I don't know how. They were like full-on punch bruises, not hickeys. I don't remember how I got them, but I took photos of them because I thought it was weird but horny, you know? Then I caught him cheating on me fully, this time as we were together with his ex-girlfriend. I went to his work and threw the presents he got me for Christmas at him and told him to get fucked. By the way, the present he got for me was the same thing he got for his ex. He came to my house and yelled at me. Then we broke up. I knew I was just going to fold again unless I spoke to who I thought was the source of our problems, the ex. I messaged her, she told me she was waiting for me to text her. I told her all the things he did to me, including the sexual assault, the name calling, the bruises, the spitting on me, the using my money, etc. She told me she understood and that she was so sorry and that I should tell her more about what he did to me. So I did. We shared stories together and realized he was a fucking asshole who was a rapist and an abuser, mentally and physically, I suppose. I felt empowered. I asked her about the cheating and she confessed. He had been seeing her, fucking her, sexting her the whole time we were together. He would use me to make her feel less, saying that I was actually smart and pretty and that she was just hot. Anyway, she ended up ghosting me and I was like, okay. Then I found out she was dating him again and that when I was texting her about everything he did to me she was with him and showing him and laughing at me. I was fucking furious. I don't think I have ever been so mad in my life. I called him, told him to go fuck himself and that if he ever contacted me again I will call the police. Then I got into her. I told her how pathetic she was and all this shit, then she turned it around somehow to say, I can't leave him, please you have to help me. So what did I do? Helped her. We went to the police together to put in a rape report, they didn't care and it didn't work. Turns out she told him we were going to the police and kept fucking him through that. I told her she was crazy and why was she doing this, she just made fun of me and told me I was so small and little and easy to make fun of. She texted all my friends wanting them to be friends with her. She would stalk everything I did. I hated her, and I still hate her. I told her she's disgusting and I want nothing to do with her. We are literally enemies now. The guy left the surface of Earth, I swear. He deleted everything. I also found out he was cheating on me the whole time with OnlyFans girls as well and was fucking some other chick. Everyone knows what he did, so he has no friends. I met up with his mom and told her everything he did to me and she just said okay, what can I do about it? He tried to kill himself a few times as well, when I broke up with him, when we went to the police, etc. I know I have left out so many more fucked up details, but I just can't be bothered getting into that, like my family's reaction, my friends leaving me to go be friends with the ex-girlfriend. The only good things that came from this, I am a different and changed person. I am stronger and stand up for myself more. I am confrontational and loud and don't care. I met my current boyfriend through them. My current boyfriend was dating the ex-girlfriend while I was dating the guy, so we both got cheated on in the same way. Although what the ex-girlfriend did to my current boyfriend was fucked up, I'll tell you about it now. Let's call my current BF Sam. Sam was dating this girl, she only used him to get back at the guy and for the guy to want her more. She cheated on him many times and was mentally abusive to him as well. He was 16 at the time, she was 18. On her birthday party, her and her friends fed him so much alcohol and drugs that he had a seizure and nearly died, had to be in the ICU for 2 weeks, and the girl didn't even apologize, didn't visit him in hospital, and fucked another dude the night he nearly died. Charges weren't pressed because Sam couldn't be bothered with it. Then they broke up, and about a year later Sam and I started talking, and now we have been together for basically 2 years. He is the best boyfriend ever, treats me right. We are meant to be, and I think going through what we did is what brought us together. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Any questions? Hope you enjoyed my fucked up life story, lol.